Okay, let's take a look at creating a rubric from scratch. I'm in my Google Classroom and I'm going to create a brand new assignment. This will work for any assignment. And once I've added a title, you'll see that the rubric button down here has become active. It was grayed out before I had a title, but now that I have a title, it's there. And when I click on it, it opens up, well, the rubric template. Okay, and so I can come up with the different areas of my rubric that I'm going to be assigning scores to. And let's just say my first criterion will be that they have a clear topic. Okay, now I'm going to skip down a little bit. You can add a description here, but I'm going to jump down to where it says level title because a lot of times we use these level titles, exemplary, and now I'm going to add another category. We're going to call the next one proficient. The next one is developing and beginning. And so we have our categories, our levels titled. And of course, it's telling us that they need points. So let's talk about points for just a minute. What I like to do is have the highest category add up to 100. So let's say I'm going to have 4 criterion. And so the first, if I only have 4, then they're worth 25 points. And you can decide this how you would like to do that. Would you like to make it 22 points or 20 points, or you can just go down by 5s. And again, you can decide, if they're in the beginning or they maybe did not attempt, you might have another category, or you might be given kind of a minimum score that they could achieve. Um, but once I have the level titles, before I put in the descriptions or anything else, um, rather than going through and doing this 4 times in a row and having to go through that process again, I can actually go up here to our skinny snowman and I can duplicate this criterion. And if I'm going to have 4 of these, I'm going to go ahead and do this 4 times. Well, 3 times, so that I have 4 categories. And now you can see that it adds up to 100. And I can go back and now I can start editing. I don't need it to have the same criterion each time. Let's say I want them to have a clear title. I want them to have supporting details. I want them to have organization. And I want their conclusion to be something maybe we're focusing on, if it's a persuasive or some type of writing. And so now I've got my basic setup, and I can go in and start adding my descriptions. And I can say something like, in order to have a clear topic, it needs to be clearly stated and easily understood. And I might say that's proficient. And then I'll go in and say, exemplary has almost the same wording. It's clearly stated, easy to understand, and is a little bit more sophisticated, or I'll use some more descriptions of telling them how they can get from proficient to exemplary. But what I've already done is I've created my uh, 4 categories. I've added my point values. I've got the titles. And it does take a little bit of effort to describe each different category. I'm not going to go into that now, but when I save it, it has been added to our assignment. And I can go through all the rest of this. I can leave the due date for now blank, topic blank, and instructions. We would go ahead and create the instructions for our assignment. But when I assign it, now any assignment has a rubric that's attached to it, and it's right there. Okay. This is the very basic of creating your rubric. We did it very easily by copying this, creating one and then copying it 4 times. You'll have to spend some time on the wording and the language that you want to describe that, but that's the basics of it.